Good morning. Hopefully, everyone is doing well this week. We already got some updates here on Xbox layoffs, and they officially began. Now, we knew this wasn't made up, it was just something kind of like being leaked out and being shared. And like I said, when Jason starts talking about stuff, we know that it's pretty accurate. He's not going to do that. Bloomberg doesn't really play games like that. If they got a false report, they'll end up correcting it. It's a serious thing they have to do over there, definitely in the Wall Street world. So it starts right now with Compulsion games. Now, remember, they said it begins at the end of the month or July. And here it is right here. Compulsion games developers update LinkedIn to seek new jobs. Now, these are the people who made We Happy Few South of Midnight, right? Then we know we're going to get some comments too about like political hiring the wrong way. That's going to be in here. Of course, it did happen. And then we need to talk about why would you need 100 million to make South of Midnight? But when you look at games like Ghost of Yote, Expedition 33, and other games, it just gives you the idea that, yeah, you were hiring people that didn't know what they're doing. You should have never had to get to 100 million budget for that type of game. That's ridiculous. So become a member, leave a tip down below, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. Multiple team members, including dialogue designer Sean M, with nearly 6 years there, senior character concept artist Shelby Dela Cruz, and principal level designer Mike Sklavanos, or however the hell you say that. Yeah, it looks something like that. Sklavanos, I think we could say that. Updated their LinkedIn profiles this week, sorry about that, to look for new opportunities. This follows South of Midnight's April 2025 launch, which earned a BAFTA for Best New IP and other awards for its Deep South folklore, art, and narrative. The move comes amid report of an Xbox reset under new CEO Asha Sharma, which I don't really see it as an Xbox reset. I see it as I'm getting rid of what I don't want, and I want to make massive profit, and I want to monetize it. I'm done subsidizing, and we're getting ready for AI, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So the moves coming from reports of that, that's what I think when I see that. With potential studio changes like closure or spinoff for Compulsion. Well, the idea is I think Microsoft eventually wants to try to sell them if they can, and if they can't, they start shutting off and getting rid of what they want. So, and then they'll eventually shut down the studio, because it's like, if you're doing that, then yeah, you're getting rid of what you don't want. And then it's like, okay, if we don't know what we're going to do with you, then yeah, we're just going to have to shut you down because we can't sell you. We don't have a buyer. With potential studio changes like, that's why it says closure or spinoff for Compulsion, acquired by Microsoft in 2018. And remember, that's when they were doing all the hires. People call them DEI hires, that's what you want to say. Which, in a way, they were doing their political hires, and then they shut down all those programs, which I was trying to tell people, look, this is not real. Trust me, this is just part of a political movement. And once the political movement shifts, Microsoft will adjust with that. As you saw, they've been shut those programs down last year because that wasn't in their heart and soul. It was something they were doing to please politicians. It's not the real ideal of the company. You kind of get the idea of what's present now, the real ideal of the company. So Microsoft acquired them in 2018, and they had 90 to 100 staff. Neither Compulsion nor Microsoft has commented as layoffs loom before the fiscal year ends June 30th. But as a matter of fact, Compulsion games devs did actually say something, and we got some posts down here to get into. Now, to me, this is just opening a little bit of Pandora's box. I think Ninja Theory is happening next. Stuff at Bethesda is happening. Everything you were reading about, right? Definitely Arcane. I don't know about the Blade game. I think that's in trouble. And I think a lot of other companies are also around the corner as well over at Microsoft. Double Fine? Yes, you can believe that. That's for sure happening as well. And I don't think we're going to stop there. I think there's going to be a lot more. Pirate Nation says Compulsion Games, the studio that made South of Midnight, has started laying off its staff. South of Midnight came out in 2025 and won a Peabody Award. A number of its employees have posted on LinkedIn saying that they've left the studio and are now looking for new jobs. This is just the beginning, of course. I've told you before, like, that Microsoft is going to do a lot of layoffs at the beginning of the year. I don't think people remember that. I said they're going to still do it. They're like, what are you talking about? They said they were going to be doing any more layoffs after the Activision acquisition, right? They say a lot of things, but they don't stick with it. So, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we know Grumps, he's going to talk about DEI for sure. The Xbox Studio layoffs have begun. We're going to get to the LinkedIn stuff. Layoffs have begun at Compulsion Games. Multiple LinkedIn accounts report they have left the studio. Compulsion Games and other studios were in negotiations for their fate, which I figured that would be going on. It seems we now know the results. The studio was riddled with DEI and hired Sweet Baby Inc. consultants, which, if you know Sweet Baby Inc., it was led by the moron Claire, Kim, whatever the hell her name is. Kim Blair, I don't know, something like that, but yeah, she's annoying, and just literally makes everything worse and tries to push narratives, and is just a moron who does not know how to build something with somebody and make sure that they're actually liked and loved. They're some of the worst people that came into the gaming industry that just really want to be activists and not actually help the gaming industry. And some of her comments she's made, which is absolutely just dumb. It's like, why are you saying that? Sweet Baby Inc. consultants that affected the company so badly that several EX developers have reached out to me to tell me that the studio culture has been destroyed. Well, here's the thing. They're based in Montreal. I believe that because that was next to Ubisoft. Montreal. And Ubisoft, not too far from them, who was where they came from. So that actually makes sense. We're not sitting here doing any rants, but it's like, yeah, no, these are just the facts. This is the behavior that was actually going on. Rebs Gaming says, I'm sad to report Xbox layoffs have begun. Compulsion Games, South of Midnight developers, was hit with mass layoffs. This guy says, hi, everyone. After a couple of wonderful years at Compulsion Games, I'm looking for my next opportunity. I was grateful for my time there and for what it taught me, how to be a better collaborator, how to be more open to change, and how to grow from concept to execution at a high level, among many other things. I'm very, very grateful to the amazing people there who taught me so much about what it takes to make a truly beautiful game. And that's what he thinks about that game. So then the people they were talking about, Shelby Dela Cruz is the other person. Senior character concept artist. Hello, everyone. After an incredible journey at Compulsion Games, I'm seeking a new opportunity and would appreciate any support. Most recently, I worked as a character concept artist at the Xbox Game Studios. Compulsion Games on an unannounced title. My responsibilities included ideating character designs based on a rough narrative guide, providing through exploratory research to support and develop main cast of characters, sketching and rendering in a multitude of art styles to assist in developing, improving out overall project tone and visual style. So we see that they were actually working on something else after that, but I think that's probably going to get canceled. After 5 wonderful years at Compulsion, I am now open to work. So they're basically telling you again, they got laid off. I'm a principal 3D artist with almost 20 years of experience in the game industry, specializing in texturing and materials for environments, props, vegetation, and vistas. Over the course of my career, I've contributed to more than 12 games, including South of Midnight, which won the BAFTA Award for Best New IP and received 7 Canadian Game Awards. As I said, they were in Montreal, including Best Art Direction. So we get the idea here. It's right in front of you. 6 years, this is the guy, Sean M., at Compulsion Games, significant professional growth, and have shipped one of my most creatively satisfying titles in my career. I am now open to work because they're out. They see the picture. They know what's going on. I am a dialogue design with over 10 years of experience in the game industry, specializing in narrative-driven systems, voiceover recording, editing, cleaning, and mastering, cinematic implementation, and visual scripting. I have owned end-to-end narrative pipelines on shipped award-winning titles, and I bring a technical prowess and creative mindset to any collaboration. So, to other people, these are DEI hires along with others, but this is just the beginning. There's tons more apparently in that company. But some of them, if they know what they're doing, yeah, they're looking for a job. And Microsoft, as I said before, doesn't really care about that. They want to get rid of that. We kind of see it right here. So this is actually being posted everywhere. The LinkedIn posts are here. Let's go ahead and take a look at some comments and see what people have to say. Going down here, this was their cringe BAFTA award speech. We see that right there. People are funny. It's sad. This was a good game, just a bit behind its time and not well marketed. Solid gameplay and great story. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily think it was necessarily a bad game, but It only sold 500,000 copies with the PS5 version launched. Nobody wanted it. PC gamers are not going to support that because they hate Sweet Baby Inc. I don't blame them for not liking Sweet Baby Inc. But when it comes to games like that, it's like, yeah, how did that cost you 100 million? That's a problem. Remember I said Ghost of Yotei had a 60 million budget, plus with marketing stuff, it obviously got to 100. But this game costing 100 million says that Microsoft does not know what they're doing. And they were trying to promote that game to look good. This is the hypocrisy of that company. As of like, you couldn't tell this game was not going to sell. I could have told you, no, this game is going to flop big time. If you thought anything else, then you just don't have no vision. But that's Microsoft in general. They don't understand the gaming industry. They lack basic understanding, like Sean Layden said. Yeah, you don't know what you're doing. And plus, you put games like that on Game Pass day one. What do you expect? Ain't nobody gonna buy that game on Xbox. They can sit there and talk about all the political hiring all they want, but watch when stuff hits the fans. Guess what? How much you think it sold before it got to PlayStation? Probably like 200 and something thousand. PlayStation probably had like 300K sales or something, or 250,000. So most people don't care about that game because it's not a video game that moves the needle. Not even close. If it would have been good, it'd be like, oh, at least you sold 1.5 million because a lot of people liked it, right? All that other stuff is just nonsense, right? Yeah, tell me that you care about the game by supporting it. Oh, gamers don't care. Nah, the whole gaming community. There's so many. Target audience didn't show up to play the game, so this is what happens. This is what I mean. Their target audience. Nobody cares about that stuff. It never made any profit. All those games flop, every single one of them. This guy says, don't make me poke the signs. Concord, Dustborn, Forspoken, Dragon Age Veilguard, Star Wars Outlaw, South of Midnight. Yeah, you see what I mean? Wolfenstein Youngblood, Gears of War Unknown 9, Flintlock, Redfall, The Callisto Protocol, Deathloop, Suicide Squad, Avowed, The Outer Worlds 2, Agents of Mayhem. Yeah, but he's right though. All these games, they all fell significantly. Look at what happened to Ubisoft too. Immortals Avium, Marvel Avengers, Gotham Knights, it failed. Mass Effect Andromeda, garbage. Lawbreakers, garbage. No, he's right though. If you look at all these games, they failed big time. Now, God of War Laugh, you're stupid. That game's gonna succeed. And she's part of the lore. It's like, what are we talking about here? That's Kratos' wife. If I'm gonna buy a game with a black female protagonist, I want realistic gameplay like search for my dad, change the 9V in the smoke detector, or twerk in there while more. What the hell? Oh boy. Gee, I wonder why it went under. So we look at Ninja Theory, their games did terrible. Double Fine, their games did terrible. Compulsion games. Yeah, nobody's going to support these games on PC. Going to Steam, yeah, that is the worst. Now, if you look at PlayStation and Xbox, there's a possibility, but Xbox users don't even buy their own games that much. So the only market that's really left is PlayStation. PC says, no, I refuse to. I'm exposing this 24/7. That's what's going to happen. AGN's is speaking facts over here. The Switch 2, I mean, if you want to put it on there, but that's even taking a risk. Nintendo gamers have a certain interest in games too, and that's mostly Nintendo games. Unless it's third-party games that they want to support because they're only going to be in that ecosystem. This is something that has to be understood because it's like you have to look at the gaming industry and look at the results and say, why is nobody supporting this game? That's what I'm saying. It's the whole entire industry that's telling you that. That's not what they want. They want really good video games and not that garbage. So what's a Peabody Award? Yeah, I don't even know. No idea what a Peabody Award is, but it means jack crapped for gamers. My point exactly. Nobody is going to be like, oh yeah, you got that, so yeah, let me go buy the game. It's like, it's not gonna work. So let's see what they have to say out here. Compulsion, they just got layoffs. I'm shocked the whole studio wasn't shut down. I think they might be. Looks like DEI hires will be insulated. Again, I don't care what Asha does, because if she doesn't kill the actual parasite, then the same outcome will happen again and again until there's no one left but these idiots. Give a studio a budget that far exceeds what they can possibly make back, puts games on Game Pass at launch, making things even worse, gets angry that the studio isn't making any money. Mass layoffs to the studio that just following their overlords lead. Some BS, I say. That's what happens when you make South of F at Midnight. Awards and still claps aren't sales. This will be drowned out with GTA 6 news, of course. So yeah, we're kind of getting the idea here. Let me know what you guys think as usual. It doesn't surprise me that Microsoft is laying them off. But remember, this was Microsoft's agenda that they wanted to push at that time. Now they're reversing it. Remember I told you this is what they do? Now you see it again. Let me know what you guys think. Become a member. Leave a tip down below. This game should have not cost no $100 million. That's the problem here. Even 50 million, I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But 100 million, what you make back if it sold 500,000 copies? Yeah, in the sinkhole. I think it's pretty obvious. I think this studio, if they don't sell it, it's going to get shut down. And this is just the beginning. Get ready. There's going to be tons of more layoffs coming across Microsoft. Don't be surprised. Later.